Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crazy Kid Man City, and you are listening to another episode of Entertainingly Outrageous. And today it is Pop Topic Sunday. That's right, Pop Topic Sunday, where we talk about everything that's been going on this past week. And boy, do we got a good one for you guys today. But first, let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who we got. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Let's see who we got. Make sure I can. Give me a second. Yeah. Yo, let's see. We got my boy Princeton in the house. What's up, my guy? What's going on, man? Got my big sister in his house. Excuse me. All right, I got some special guests coming. They just let me know they're gonna be a little late. All right. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's see who else in the house. All right. Here we go. What up, Ted? What up, my guy? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. What's going on, Tamika? All right, let's get started, shall we? Let's get started with pop topics. That's right. All right. Starting off today's Pop Topic Sunday is none other than Miss Carlee Russell. If you guys don't know her story captured the nation's attention back when she's basically said that she was driving down the street and saw a baby walking down the street, kind of kind of push you in a Kevin Hart joke, basically. So she's basically riding down the street, saw a baby walking in a diaper. All of a sudden, the man came out the woods that looks like the clown from Airbud. Um, Came and kidnapped her, fed her Cheez-Its, did her hair, and somehow she ended up escaping. I think it was over the span of 49 hours. However, turns out everything wasn't as kosher as it was. So it turns out she did not see a toddler on the side of the road. She wasn't kidnapped and did not leave the Hoover area. So Alabama investigators pretty much knew that Carlee Russell was lying about being kidnapped when they held a press conference last week laying out the suspicious timeline of her disappearance. All right. She said she called 911 late night. I think that was July 13th, and reported seeing a toddler walking on I-495. She later told police that she went to check on the supposed child, and a man came out of the trees. Remember the man that looks like I keep forgetting the actor's name, but it's the clown that's off of Airbud. If probably maybe 20 years ago. I'm showing my age. However, police couldn't find evidence of a missing child being seen by anyone else along that interstate, and detectives soon pieced together the timeline of events leading up to Russell's disappearance. Now, they say she's on camera sneaking toilet paper in a robe from her job that night that she claimed she was kidnapped. They also found evidence that she stocked up on snacks at Target before calling 911, while her internet and search history in the days leading up to her disappearance showed she was looking up information about Amber Alerts. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, she made that whole story up, and I'm not sure what meant say this right. I want to be correct. I don't know what was going on in her mind at the moment, but none of it really made sense. So she also looked up bus tickets that night for the exact day that she was supposed to be gone missing. And as well as looked up the movie Taken. Wow. So since she has been arrested and charged with 2 misdemeanors, falsely reporting to law enforcement officers and falsely reporting an incident. She was released on bail. Both misdemeanor charges have a maximum sentence up to a year in jail and a fine up to $6,000. I think she got off easy. Oh, excuse me. I think she got off easy. It's so much going on in the world today, and being that police basically put all their resources in this phony story, possibly taking the attention away from somebody who actually needed it. So I believe she got off real easy. I can't see how her attorney pulled that off. Pulled that off, excuse me. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm country, so I'm getting used to pronouncing my words correctly. But yeah, she made up the whole story, which is quite bizarre. But yeah, I believe she got off easy. And like I said, I don't know how the attorney got that off, but kudos to the attorney. I guess that's why we pay him. Also, before I head on, if you guys want to hop on and give your thoughts on any of these stories that we're going over today, I would gladly put up the banner with the link on it so you guys can see that. Let's see. Ashley said, "Rip her out the plastic like ass." Had me doing all that praying and crying for. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a waste of prayer because she did needed it. But yeah, man, all of the effort that people put into finding her and praying for her, I believe that's real selfish of her. Tamika said that's why police don't believe people now when they say one day they love once loved one is missing. True. I think that's why I have a big problem with it. Just for the simple fact that mostly we have people already now, black people already, um, black people already basically trying to get things done and trying to figure out ways to get ahead. And this has really pretty much set us back. I have check this out, y'all. I got this special guest, right? Um, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about this situation. But it's my brother-in-law, it's my super producer, is my guy. I call him C Pizzle because that's his name. But Carrington, what's going on, my?
What's good, my man? How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm thugging it, man. I'm living life. You hear me?
Excellent, excellent. Good to see you again, of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you think about this story, man?
Actually, I haven't heard too much about it. I haven't heard too much about it, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on with it?
So basically, this girl from Hoover, Alabama. So I got on this Alabama. Hope y'all see that. Roll. But
Roll Tide,
anyway,
Roll Tide.
this this woman from Hoover, Alabama, basically lied. Said there was a baby on the expressway. She said there was a man came out the woods. kidnapped her, fed her Cheez-Its, did her hair or something like that. I remember reading, and she was gone for like the maybe 49 hours, 48, 49 hours, about 2 days. And
Cheez-Its?
somehow she escaped and ended back at her home. So basically, she never left the Hoover area. She never left the
Right.
area. So now she's being charged with misdemeanors, facing about a year, two misdemeanors facing a year each, plus $6,000 each. I think she got off easy. It's I just can't believe she actually got off the way she did. But
Straight
what you
up.
think?
I mean, yeah, pretty much the same thing, man. It's that's lenient as hell.
Yeah,
That's real
yeah,
lenient. That's next to slap on the wrist. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You know, when it comes
yeah,
to levels, you know, you got slap on the wrist. That's probably like a little bit more, but it's still close to it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but you know, our justice system, you know, haven't been the cleanest, you know, at all, ever really
Right,
when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
right, right. But my whole thing is, man, with the way society is going now, and being that black women don't feel protected already as it is, and then you get this story, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Of course, it ain't happening at all. You know what I mean?
It's not helping at all. So I'm trying to figure out how do we come to this, because this is the second time, because we got the Jesse Smollett, we got that
Yeah.
story,
Right.
and we got this story. So I'm trying to figure out what can we do to let the basically not let this happen again. So it's
Well, I mean, it's that's a good question, and it's not there isn't an easy solution. You know what I mean?
right,
Like being realistic. It's not an easy solution. Um, in a sense, you know, we like have to kind of start thinking about ourselves a lot more. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You know, we have to think about each other a little more. Um, most people are kind of like not I'm not gonna say introverts, but like kind of closed in when it comes to people or anything that's going on that doesn't have nothing to do with them. You know what I
right,
mean? But as a whole, you just kind of have to, you know, all of us have to do a little more, honestly. You know what I
right,
mean? But
right.
it's no definite solution. You know what I mean? Really.
Right, right. I'm gonna bring you back. Hold that thought. I got another guest in the bit. I wanna get to.
All right,
But
all
hold
right, all right, all
hold.
right.
I need you for a couple more seconds, but I get back with
Yeah.
you. All right, check this out. Coming up next is very, very, very special, man. He's basically the reason why I'm in this position that I'm in now. But he gives a great perspective of what's going on. So everybody, give it up for my guy, my pops, Mr. Myron Mays. What's going on, pops?
What up, son?
Oh
Can you
man,
hear me? Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Yeah, yeah, you coming through good. So what you think, man? What you think on this situation?
Well, I just tuned in.
Oh,
I just got rid of your younger brother just a minute ago,
uh,
and I'm all free and clear and everything. So I'm actually just tuning in. But it seemed like y'all are talking about the Carlee Russell
yeah,
situation, right?
yeah,
And
right,
pretty much, man. When I was looking at that, I was checking out the press conference and everything. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, they about to nail her to the wall. And then
right,
they just bust out with these misdemeanors and stuff like that. I'm thinking to myself, man, jaywalking is a misdemeanor. And I
Yeah.
think if you get a ticket or something and you don't pay it or you don't show up to court or something like that, that's a
Yeah.
misdemeanor. I mean, it's
right,
some serious stuff because I mean, you got like for instance, you got police who are on duty.
Right.
Taxpayer money actually
Right.
pays police salary, and they're out
Exactly.
trying to look for you, and you're not even lost, and everything, and that's like overtime pay and all of that stuff, and basically all she's getting is pretty much just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
You know,
and I'm in amaze, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I just don't understand how the attorney got the deal because with falsifying a report of that magnitude of being kidnapped and all of this, and being that FBI was called, if I'm not mistaken. It's like all of these resources are being used, and it's taken away from people that actually need it.
real cases and everything. And the sad part about it, for years, any person of color who have been missing, all of these years, they never really put any effort into it.
Right.
And unless you were, I just be honest, unless you were a good looking white woman, basically, nobody's trying to get out here and look for you or anything. So now, in my opinion, this makes things a little bit worse because, you know, there th- people are missing all the time. You
Yeah.
know, but there are people of color who are missing too, and now this is not helping the case at all.
Right.
And I always felt that they never put enough resources into trying to find missing people of color, and now, with this happening, it's not going to help the case any. And pretty much, and I just posted on Facebook, and people looked at it as a joke, but I mean, I was for real. They're not gonna be looking for black folks no more who are missing,
Yeah.
and that's not, that's horrible. That's unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still amazed at the fact that she looked up the movie Taken, man.
Yeah. So, but at least she did some research. If she's gonna be out here trying to be missing and stuff, she want to get it right. So I guess you can give her credit for that. She didn't want to like half do it. So I guess if you're gonna do something, you might as well do it right and do your research.
Right, right. Hey, pops, I'm stay right where you at. I'm gonna keep you on, man. Anybody else who wants to join in and let me know what you think? I put the link right up on the screen. So I will see you once you come in. So we're gonna get to this other story that has been pretty wild since it dropped. So Dwight Howard is a name that's blowing up right now. So apparently he's being sued by maybe a former friend, I believe. That so basically the whole situation is he's getting sued for serious offenses, assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment, which are very big, very, very big. So apparently, the victim stated that Dwight Howard called him to his home in Atlanta, Georgia. The victim continued to explain that the scenario, claiming that they proceeded to Howard's bedroom where they engaged in consensual kissing, excuse me, before talking to each a bit. Howard asked him if he was interested in including a third person in their rendezvous, and the victim stated his disinterest before arriving at Howard's home. But shortly after having a conversation, the victim claimed that Howard was constantly messaging someone. To his surprise, the man named Kitty um, came through the door dressed in women's clothing. Um, the victim refused to get into bed with them and wanted to leave. Howard somehow convinced the victim to stay. All of this is allegedly, by the way. I want to add, Kitty allegedly played a adult film where Howard made several advances at the victim. The victim went on to say he went on to explain that Kitty and Howard began getting physical, and that's when Howard made the furious decision to force himself upon the victim. Like I said, the lawsuit says that he is facing assault, a battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Since then, I must say Dwight Howard has came out and refuted these claims. So what you think, Pop?
Well, you know, I'm not gonna judge anybody, and I don't even have the whole full scope of this story. But
Yeah,
I will say this right here, though. If you're going to do something and something to this magnitude, you don't do it impromptu. You don't do it spur of the moment.
right.
This is one of those things you want to already have like established and already have organized and set up before it actually happens. And that way, on the front end, okay, this is not going to turn out right. So, we're not going to do this. But, you don't get like in a situation, the opportunity to hop in and everything too. You don't want to wait until it's actually in motion. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So I mean, and honestly, I'll just be straight up. I don't even want to know the rest of the details on it, just to be totally honest about it. But in anything you do, you really want to make sure that you get all this stuff established on the front end, and don't just bring stuff up on somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Here's the crazy part. Apparently Howard, Dwight Howard, convinced the victim to get a ride from Kitty, from the Kitty character. So he somehow convinced him afterwards to hitch a ride home with Kitty. I find it very interesting. I'm like I said, I'm not a judge or anything, but I'm not saying it's not believable, and I'm not gonna say it is believable again. I don't want to make light of anybody's trauma that they went through with that situation, but if it did happen, Dwight Howard should be arrested, of course. But if not, if the fact that is not, I do believe the victim should face some type of charges, because that's that's almost a form of defamation of character, man. Because you don't
Yeah,
want that,
yeah,
you don't want that on your back at all, especially when you're playing sports now. I think he's over in Taiwan, playing in Taiwan now, but he's trying to get back to the league, and I can't imagine that this actually helped that situation.
yeah. And I'll say this right here: whenever you got a dude named Kitty involved, it nothing good can come out of that situation. So I'm just saying.
For
Mm.
real though. But so yeah, I find that very interesting. But again, if you don't mind, man, stick around. I find it very, very confident for you to be here, man. This makes me happy. You remember
I
all them
got you. I got you.
you remember all them times we went to the radio station at 103.5, man, and I used to be over in the next office next door, and I always used to come in watching you do the same thing, man. And look at where we at.
Exactly, man. And I'm happy to be able to to be passing the torch and everything. It's like you and your siblings, y'all grew up in radio stations because
Yeah,
that was pretty much for the most part the main thing that I was doing as y'all were growing up. Which
right.
now your younger brother he gets this much different version of
Yeah,
me and everything now, which is probably a good thing, with him
yeah,
and everything. But if it's if it's in you, situations will bring it out of you,
yeah.
and you just gotta
Right.
know, how to manage it and everything too. But I'm proud of you though,
Yeah, I've been trying to do my thug thizzle. How like I said, I had a lot of practice, and I had a great mentor, man, and I just want to publicly give you your flowers, because everybody everybody don't know, man. You've helped a lot of people that people probably wouldn't have thought of, and I'm definitely one of them, of course, because I'm your son. But again, man,
Of
it
course.
feels wonderful.
Gotcha.
It,
Gotcha.
it feels wonderful. So we're gonna hop back in. We're gonna get to this Jason Aldean song that's been
Yeah.
making its rounds, man. Have you heard it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So people either been criticizing or defending it. The words portray a perceived reality that urban areas are more permissive and deviant and even violent behavior than rural communities. Now, I must say, um, I have listened to the song, and we gonna get to the story. I tell you guys that. So the song, which the video, which was filmed in front of a Tennessee courthouse, Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Where a black teenager was lynched in the 1920s, boasts that criminals who tried their antics in a small town would be confronted by good old boys and residents carrying firearms. In the video, scenes of Black Lives Matter protests combined with the controversial lyrics and location prompted charges of racial animosity. So following the backlash, the music video tried that in a small town was edited to remove the images of Black Lives Matter protests. Says for legal reasons, but I think otherwise. So in an Instagram post, he did defend his song and came to the defense of the music video. Um, he states there was not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretations of a song with music, this one goes too far. So I have listened to the song. True enough, there isn't any lyrics in the song that points to um any racial innuendos or anything like that. However, being that the video was filmed in front of a courthouse where a young man was lynched in the 1920s, I believe that kind of made it a little insensitive. We're also having the Black Lives Matter protest videos inside of the video. Just for the simple fact, Black Lives Matter has always carried that bad name of not, not really following the rules, or every protest isn't a peaceful protest. Um, However, back to the story, I think both of those combined kind of put some people on edge, but it is a good song. I'm a Jason Aldean's fan. I do love his music. But what you think, Pop?
Well, if you look at country music as a genre, you'll see that basically, country music represents America, and
Yep.
it represents patriotism and the love for this country. Unfortunately, uh, you have people who are okay people who have a love for this country, but you have also people who are racist and extreme racists who have love for this country also. So a
Yeah.
lot of times it's not easy to uh, distinguish those people apart. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Right.
and it has run so deep for so many years until when we look at it, we see this one thing as
Yep.
as black people. We see this one thing when we look at it, and we always gonna have that because racism has run so deep and affected us so much to the point to where you know if it looks racist and it sounds racist, oh, it's racist.
Right.
And we're not willing to look, beneath the surface a lot of times. And I guess in my opinion, I will say this right here. What I think, one of the problems was with that video. The song was written and produced by one set of people, and the video was probably produced by another set of people who did not do their research and did not realize, what had gone on in front of that building, and
Yeah.
and basically history, and did not know what was going on, and they just went out there just uh filming stuff, filming scenes there and everything. And then, to try to get their point across, they put protester footage in the video. And you pretty much cannot Google protester footage without Black Lives Matter footage coming up, uh
Right.
civil rights footage coming up, and basically, the type of footage that's coming up. Because, once you look at it, the kind of the kind of protesting has basically been out there over the years, have basically fought racism. It's been
Right.
against racism. It had
Right.
not been, racism, or those who, are those who represented racism protesting against uh people, regular people. So
Right.
it's been the other way around. So when you get out there and you put up protester video and stuff like that, it's gonna be the kind of video that has been against people who have been racist, who have pushed racism, or who have been in the position,
Right.
to deny people their rights and things like that. So, the people who actually put those videos together, they didn't consider those things, and
Right.
they did not do their research. They just wanted to get the point over from the song, and they got the point over. They got the point across.
Yeah.
Whether Jason Aldean wanted that point out there or not, they got the point across.
Right.
And of course, had there not been a video to this song, we probably would know nothing about that song right now.
Yep.
We'd
And
have we'd have no idea that song existed. But when you put video to it, where people, because hearing something is one thing, but
right.
seeing it with your
Right.
with your eyes, whole different story. That adds visuals to it, and
Right.
those visuals drives the point home, and they drove the
Right.
point home, which, brings it where it is right now. And unfortunately, a song that's considered a negative song is like number two in the country right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it is funny that you say, one, going back to what you was saying, with one, how one person might have wrote the song and then another person might have shot the video. So I want to make sure I get this person's name right. And let's see. It is, so basically, it's everybody's coming to Jason Aldean's defense with the video, with one person saying, I doubt Aldean knew before shooting the video. They tried that in a small town, that the courthouse featured in the video was the site of a 1927 lynching of a black teenager named Henry. If he had, I imagine he may have decided to shoot it elsewhere and maybe avoided a lot of these kinds of comparisons. But regardless, the song was always intended to provoke strong reaction. And in that, it succeeded, like you said. For all of the talk of cancel culture out there, it racked up a huge number of streaming plays and increased almost 1,000% by one estimate. The song's four writers, Aldean is not one of them, likely knew that they had a hit on their hands, whether or not they predicted this level of outrage. So a lot of people have come to his defense, which the song I will come to his defense in that, because you don't hear any racist things going on. I come from a small town. Pops, you came from a small town also. So I know that camaraderie that small towns have. They look after each other. They're basically a family. However,
Hey, keep talking. I'll
yeah,
be right back.
definitely. However, I also know with the way that society is going, I probably would have came up with another idea of a video, um, preferably probably somewhere in a small town. Which Columbia is a small town, but probably not anywhere to that has a significant history of racism. I would say. Um, let's see. Um, Everybody who wants to hop on, who maybe want to give their opinions and their views on some of this, the link is on the screen. Feel free to hop in. I would love to have you guys and start a little bit of dialogue and see what's on your mind. But yeah, that's my whole take on it. I didn't think the song was racist. The video, on the other hand, it did get you on the edge of your seats. But I want to know how many of you guys knew what that building actually was that they was in front of before all of this came out. Um, because me personally, and I'm gonna be honest, I did not know that. I did not know that at all. So actually, hearing about it and reading about it and learning it brings you to a different perspective of the song. Because like you said, once you put visual to a song, it adds a whole nother dynamic to that song.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, we're gonna go on to a subject that many of you probably knew about, but the Nicki Minaj snub of the Netflix documentary. So Netflix is releasing the documentary, celebrating its 50th anniversary with a documentary dedicated to all women of the culture. However, one is missing, and that would be one Nicki Minaj. Last week, Strong Black League pushed out the first look for the Ladies First, a story of women in hip hop, which appears to be a gripping depiction of several female rappers' rise to stardom. The trailer for the doc features commentary from a generations spanning group of women, which includes Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, MC Light, Coil Ray, Cash Doll, and while also highlighting content from Ice Spice. I always get her name for some. I can't pronounce her name when I really want to. That's weird. But Young M.A., among others. Only person you did not see was Nicki Minaj. So I did my digging, and everybody got their defense team. And the Barbs, as they call them, came to her defense, saying, "How can you make a documentary about females in hip hop without featuring Nicki, Foxy Brown, or Lauryn Hill? Canceling my Netflix account
Or
right
Lil Kim.
or Lil Kim." It exactly. I wonder. I wonder how that came about. Another Twitter user states, "Ladies of hip hop, no mention of the queen who kept the scene alive for 10 years when mainstream wasn't checking for women rappers. Yes, there were female rappers out, but the only girls that were around was Nicki and Iggy, and they both was charting. So why do you think Nicki Minaj was kept out of the excluded from the these topics?"
I think Nikki was left out of it for the same reason Lil Kim was left out of it. The person who put this together was obviously not a real hip hop historian. Anybody who puts together a documentary about a certain subject should be well versed in that subject. They should have quote unquote done their research. Another case of, somebody putting something together without doing all the research. Uh, you, I'll say this right here. Rolling Stone just released a top 50 best rappers,
Right.
and the list was just horrible. And I can't even. I remember looking at the list, thinking to myself, who the hell put this together? And obviously it was somebody who did not know. They must have just went through. They must have just Googled some stuff and didn't really listen to music and didn't really research the impact that some of these people had on on the culture,
Right.
and they just put together a horrible list. I think GQ magazine put together a list of the best rappers, and basically they listed Future as the best rapper alive. GQ magazine did, which I like Future. Have no have nothing against Future at all. I like Future, but he ain't the best rapper alive.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you know,
But go ahead.
these are just people who are in a position to do something, but just because they're in the position to do something, don't mean that they're gonna do it right and do it correctly. I don't know if they just did not have the right people on their staff that was gonna pull their coattail and say, "Hey, you're missing some people." Uh, I don't. I'm not sure if Missy Elliott was actually on this list or not.
Yeah.
But do you know whether Missy Elliott was on the list or not?
No, I didn't see a name.
Yeah. So if Lil Kim, Nicki Minaj, and Missy Elliott is not a part of this, documentary, honestly, it really ain't worth watching. If you're the kind of person who watches documentaries to learn
Right.
and to be enlightened by something. It's not anything you want to watch that you want to learn. It's just something you watch to kill some time. But just like these top rapper lists and things like this, it's like nobody's doing the research
Right.
on these things. They're just putting together something that they think people might want to watch and be entertained by, not watching to learn something.
Yeah, I believe. Well, first of all, is any type of list that you do, 50 greatest rappers, 50 greatest basketball players, everything is selective. So one might, like Jay-Z over I think now it's the Jay-Z versus Boosie. I think Boosie says nobody in the South pushed Jay-Z above him. Which I don't agree with. I know a lot of people who put Jay-Z above Boosie, just for perspective. But I think it's all selective. I believe you can't do a documentary about women hip hop, females in hip hop without Nicki Minaj, because she owned, like they said, she owned it 10 years. It was nobody but her.
That's
Um,
it.
every time you turn on the radio, it's Nicki. It's
her 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 on the label with all them dudes
yeah, and that's the only,
holding it down.
yeah, and I don't agree with it. And going back to the 50th greatest rapper, I think BET did a something for the BET Awards where I think Death Row was the best group, greatest group of the 50 years, I believe that was.
Mhm.
Um Big shout out to them, big Death Row fan. Um I hate that Snoop kind of took all Death Row music down on off of platform, so it's kind of hard trying to find a music other than YouTube.
Understood why.
Yeah, I understood why. Got to get their money,
Yeah,
and they was missing a whole lot of money. I think it's going on with over 20 years. When did Tupac die? 90,
yeah, 96.
96. So it's almost going on 30 years. So I believe they are due their money.
Mhm.
But I think it's all selective, but I do agree with everybody. And I didn't even think about Lil Kim. I didn't think about Foxy Brown. I didn't think about Missy Elliott. And it's probably some more people that'll be missing off of it. But I also read that Cardi B was I guess the opening monologue or opening story or something like that, and it had me thinking because I know the beef that Nicki and Cardi had. Could that be a reason why you don't see her? Maybe she turned it down, or because I haven't heard Nicki say anything about it from my
Yeah,
side.
once you think about it, that could be a factor, which is unfortunate because you're and you're letting that basically keep real history from being told.
Right.
You know, with them having issues and being at odds is actually part of the history. So that's another reason why uh, she should have been included
Right.
as well. And I don't know when this thing was actually filmed and actually produced and put together and submitted, to
Yeah.
Netflix. But honestly, when you look at the beginning of females in hip hop, of course you're gonna think Roxanne Shante, which it should start off with her. But when you look at where it has come to right now, who's hot right now that's not even listed in that's not even listed in that uh that and I'm looking at the article right now on Billboard, and I
Yeah.
don't and I see one person who's hot right now that's obviously missing from the conversation, and they may have just been left out of this particular article I'm looking at now, but I don't even see Glorilla in
Man,
here anywhere.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that.
And
I
I'm
didn't.
not saying that because she's a hometown girl and everything, but she's hot right now. She is a part of what is happening today. So if you're gonna tell some history, tell the history that was going on up until the time you produced this film.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, she was included in BET's uh 50th anniversary of hip hop segment at the BET Awards. It
yeah,
started with what was that? Sugar Hill Gang, LL Cool J, and then
mhm.
it went all the way up, and it ended with her.
Yeah, and
So they saw that.
yep, big shout out to Glorilla also. I used to work at Nike with her, and funny girl. She real cool. Hopefully I can get her on the show one day. But yeah, that's one person I didn't see. It's a couple more people from Memphis that I would have liked to see. Um, with God, what's my girl? I just had a brain fart, man. Help me out.
Too young for brain farts, man. Come on.
Hey, listen, man, it's a lot.
Mm.
What's 336?
Gangsta Boo.
Gangsta Boo.
Let's
Um,
chat.
let chat. I would like to see them because believe it or not, they was rocking what from early late 90s to almost that whole almost 15 years span right there.
Exactly. So I'm curious to find out who actually put this thing together because they obviously did not do their homework.
I think they should pause it, do some research, and come back and try
And
to
finish it. It's,
I
it's
think
half it's half done.
I think it'll be way better. I think they'll get a bigger audience to watch it because me personally, I think the Memphis scene has been totally disrespected in this rapping game, in this rap
Have
game.
always been
And and
disrespected.
and it's amazing, man. Because we always hear, we hear about Atlanta, and I'm gonna give everybody their props. But Southern music, Memphis to be to be in particular, um, ain't always got their just due. And I like the way Pimp C said it. There was them boys out of Memphis, man. There was 3-6 coming up with it. They made crunk, you know. We so it's just amazing to see a documentary being done, half-assed done, with a lot of people missing.
Hey, watch your mouth, boy. Watch your mouth. I'm just playing.
I probably won't watch it, but I'm not gonna discourage anybody else from watching it. But I just don't see myself really diving deep into it. I love documentaries, by the way, but it's got to make sense to me, man.
Yeah,
It's just makes sense. So
definitely. And I'm a big documentary and biopic fan myself.
I never
And
been
I like learning.
I never been about. I think the only biopic I like is Straight Outta Compton, and
Yeah,
that was it. I think every other biopic in Bozeman, Chadwick Boseman, and
James Brown.
James Brown. Any biopic that he did was pretty much perfect. But the James Brown is pretty much top tier, man. But
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of biopics. I still haven't watched the Whitney Houston biopic because I'm gonna feel like I'm not gonna like it, and
Wasn't it was okay. It wasn't all that good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
all that good.
I barely like the Bobby Brown New Edition biopic that they did. I barely liked it, man. I don't know why, but hey, it
You
is
know,
what
sometimes we look at these movies and we're we know we're watching a movie about a real person, but we expect for that person that's playing that person to look more like and act more like that person and make us forget that that's not the real person. I
right.
think Ray, Jamie Foxx may have messed a lot of us up with Ray
Oh yeah.
because he made us really think that that was Ray Charles.
Yeah.
We forgot that that was Jamie Foxx. We thought we were actually looking at Ray Charles playing himself. And I think, he kind of really set a precedent. And that way, when we watch movies, we really don't really fully like the movie unless we can forget that that's not the real person.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a comment saying it was Carlee smiling in a mugshot for me. She just made it so much harder for people to believe African American women who's really got things going on. There's right.
Absolutely, absolutely right, Renisha. It's like going forward, whether we believe it or not, this particular case right here has done more damage than we can ever
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, this right here is what they're going to look back on and not take black people in general being missing seriously. And it's
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate.
And
And a lot of times we don't believe that one person can mess something up for an entire race of people. Yep, you
yeah.
can.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is. I just can't believe she went with that story. It's like she thought of this story on the fly, man. She woke up that morning on the day of July 21st, June 21st, whatever day it was, and came up in her mind and said, you know what, today I'm a plan my kidnapping. Let me look up the Amber Alerts. If do I gotta pay for an Amber Alert? What's let me see how I can ruin the day. And
Yeah,
it's
let me pack some snacks and everything too.
right. You're stealing it. And she looked up how to steal $100 from a register without getting caught. Like it just doesn't make sense. I want to know if if something's going on in her mind to where she has some wires that's maybe loose or something like that, because that story is not believable. And if you believe it, you about just as delusional as she is.
Yeah, exactly. And and again, it's unfortunate because you just coming up with a boneheaded idea like that, it's going to affect a lot of people.
Right.
And you just never know. One of your family members might end up becoming missing, being missing, and they won't take that serious
Right.
because of something that you did. Not
Right.
how they're gonna make you feel.
Right. Exactly. And this it's just a crazy world we living in. And and you just I would stay prayed up, man, but it's a lot of people praying to the wrong person, man. They praying to the wrong person. But we're getting out of time, guys. But however, always remember, share, like, subscribe. Pops, I appreciate you, man. Coming on. Do
Oh,
you have
anytime, man. I was just waiting on the opportunity where you're gonna say, "Hey, Derek, can you come like hang out on the podcast and stuff like that?" Because I have an opinion. You know,
yeah.
I have an opinion. I got a little something to say and everything. But I'm definitely I'm overjoyed and proud of you and everything. And what you're doing. And of course, it goes without saying, whatever I can do to help you to move forward, it's already done. And I'm always gonna do more than you ask me to. And you had to tell me, okay, Dad, I need you to back off just a little bit because you're taking over my stuff. But it's all in love, and I've had so many years of experience with this
Yeah.
type of thing, and I just want to make sure that everything that I'm able to do for you and able to offer you, I want to make sure that all that stuff gets done and utilized.
Okay, before we leave, I do want to run off just a little bit of your resume, because, like I said, most people, I was always proud to go to school and be like, yeah, my dad on the radio, yeah, my daddy doing this, my daddy doing that. So, host of Mired at Midnight 103.5. He was on Monday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Monday through Friday and Sunday.
Yeah,
Um,
6 days a
Sunday.
week and that Sunday on the afternoons.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
7 years. 7 years, as a matter of fact.
7 years
Before that,
at
seven
103.5.
years, 7 years and a month,
At
and
103.5.
then it was
You was at
one AM 990, and then 88.5. A couple of years over there too.
yep. I
Yeah,
definitely remember that. Man, what else I can say? Awesome dad, man. He made sure we was doing what we was supposed to do. And as y'all can see, he's been a big inspiration, and I following his footsteps. And again, I do want to say thank you. I do want to give you your flowers, because I wouldn't be doing this without you, man.
thank
So
you. I received them. I got this story about Jalen that I want to tell you.
nah,
When Jalen was too soon, too
it
soon,
depends
Jalen,
on which
too
one it
soon.
is. It
Okay,
depend on
yeah.
which.
Well, it's the one I always tell.
Of course, I know
But
that's too soon. We
okay,
got
we'll wait on that one. We'll wait
yeah.
on that
We'll wait, and if the people want to hear it, they gonna have to let me know so we can get you back on, so you can tell all the embarrassing stories you want. No holds barred.
one. Well, I just got that one story I like to tell. The one I did at the wedding reception, and
Of course.
yeah, the one, I always keep that one in the chamber.
Yeah, of course, of course. Man, again, man, you've been rocking with Entertainingly Outrageous. I am your boy, Crazy Kid, Mad City. That is my pops, Myra Mays. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Holla at your boy. Stay blessed.